What is good, Ninja? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to the PE, Nintendo Switch, and gaming news video. Today we have some awesome information for you, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So, we have 19 new minutes of footage from the Xbox One exclusive re-release, Phantom Dust. There's also gameplay details, and this game has been drawing a lot of buzz for multiple different reasons. But let's go ahead and get into the article here and what Polygon had to say with one of the developers of the team. So Phantom Dust is a remaster which moves from a 4:3 aspect ratio from the original Xbox system that it was released on to 16:9 widescreen. Xbox One, the game renders at 1080p. On PC, you can be playing it at 4K resolution. Card data for every single one of the game's skills is now stored on Microsoft's server, allowing for the company to rapidly push out patches and tweak the game's balance in real time. Microsoft also made changes to the game's single-player story progression, no longer preventing players from getting into the game's core deck building mechanic in the first few hours of the game. Additionally, if you fail at any of the missions 3 times, you can skip it. You'll still get the rewards, but there'll be some achievements that are tied to not skipping and doing challenging things in the game. There will also be free and paid downloadable content. One of the first free downloadable add-ons will give you a whole bunch of skills in the arsenal case. So you can jump straight into the multiplayer with an assortment of cards to build your decks from. There are also a whole bunch of accelerants for multiplayer, so if you want all of the skills immediately, for a couple bucks, you can get all of the skills. Microsoft said that it hasn't changed anything about the original game as far as how it works, and the downloadable content was just added for the convenience. So there was a lot of talk about this game because this, I didn't even know was a thing. Phantom Dust back in 2004, I'm not sure what I was doing, but I wasn't paying attention to what was on the original Xbox, even though I had an Xbox back then. So this game looks really interesting. It looks like you kind of go around, it's deck building, but it's also an action game. You use those different cards kind of like in real time, so like a real-time Bates and Katos or something like that. Now it was made by Japanese developers, and of course Microsoft is retuning this. But the interesting part is that how they lost the original source code, or they don't have the original source code. It's a very interesting gameplay video and interview with the developers, so if you have the time, make sure you check out that video in the link in the description below. Trust me, there's a lot of cool stuff that they talk about there. I'm not interested in Phantom Dust, but I'm interested in how game development works and just what they had to do to bring this game back without a source code from the original game. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about Phantom Dust on the Xbox One. Is this something that you guys are interested in? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to some Nintendo Switch gaming news. So Thumper is coming to the Nintendo Switch on May 18th. Thumper, which launched on the PlayStation 4 and PC in late 2016, will launch on the Nintendo Switch on May 18th, developer Drool announced. The Nintendo Switch version of Thumper will feature full HD Rumble support, which I think makes it the superior version right there. Handheld mode runs in 720p 60 frames per second, and TV mode supports 1080p 60 frames per second, also which makes it the superior version right there. You can take it anywhere you want, and it has HD Rumble. Here's the overview of the game via Steam page. Thumper is a rhythm violence, classic rhythm action, blistering speed, and brutal physicality. You are a space beetle, brave the hellish void, and confront a maniacal giant head from the future. Scream down the endless track and crash through punishing obstacles with simple, airtight controls. Hurtle forward, master new ones, reach overwhelming velocities, and survive the epic boss battles. Every crushing impact is interwoven with a pounding original soundtrack to reach a synthetic bliss. You must go through rhythm hell. Play in traditional HD or fully immersed VR, Steam, VR, or Oculus. So obviously Nintendo Switch isn't going to have that. So here's the breakdown. 9 levels of rhythm hell, adrenaline boss battles, simple controls, 1 stick and 1 button, psychedelic visuals, original soundtrack by Brian Gibson of noise rock band Lightning Bolt. So I watched this trailer, I didn't know what this was, I didn't have the original release, I didn't even know it came out back then, and I watched the trailer and I was instantly like, oh my gosh, this is going to be an amazing game. I'm going to be hooked on this. Like I said, I didn't know it came out for the PS4 and PC back then, but looking at the gameplay and seeing what they're going to do with HD Rumble, and based on how I like to play my indie games, pretty much portably lying down in bed, I think this could be an awesome, with some headphones in, HD Rumble. May 18th, Thumper launches on the Nintendo Switch. Get ready. Are you guys looking forward to this game? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. Climax Studios has shown off a tease for their next game that's coming to the Nintendo Switch, and that is Riftstar Riftstar Raiders. Now this game, at first I was like, what's a Riftstar Raiders? I had no clue what it was, didn't see anything on the game, so I checked out some gameplay and the description on YouTube. Yo, and this game is looking pretty tight based on the upgrades, based on what you can do with co-op. Looks like a really fun game. So Riftstar Raiders is a 2.5D top-down, fast-paced shoot-'em-up. The spiral arm has been plunged into chaos, and it's fallen to the poster boy for the Federation's most wanted to save the galaxy and turn a profit. Hordes of War Swarm, a hive mind of alien AI, have waged war on humanity, launching overwhelming attacks against the Federation space, and now it falls to you and your ragtag team of raiders to take them out. Hailing from the orbital city of Arcadia, located at the heart of the Far Reach and home of the galaxy's pirate guilds and criminal elite, raiders are infamous hotshot pilots, scavengers, mercenaries, but working for the feds doesn't mean you're about to let all the loot slip between your fingers without a fight, even with a much greater threat on the horizon. Enlist your most reliable teammates to shoot and loot your way through 9 formidable 4-player co-op missions, wiping out swarms of aliens, feds, and rival pirate gangs in this deep space top-down shoot-'em-up. Collect perks and loot as you clash with mobs of enemies in intense combat and reap the rewards to craft and upgrade your ship. Customize your spacecraft with tons of combinations to create your perfect loadout, whether you want to be a tank to take hits, a support to snatch your comrades from the jaws of death, an agile damage dealer, and more. So once again, I watched the trailer through, watched some gameplay of this game, and it's looking like it's going to be really fun on the Nintendo Switch. Another small but cool looking game coming, especially with Thumper and with this game Riftstar Raiders. Looks really good what they're doing. This one has co-op though for up to 4 players, some online multiplayer, maybe PE arenas, some game nights. This could be really fun, so I'm glad that developers are coming around putting their games on the Nintendo Switch. Let me know what you guys think about this Riftstar Raiders game in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to the last article and the topic of discussion, Persona 5. The director Katsuhira Hashino thanks Western fans for the support. Hashino hands the series off to his successors as well. So Katsuhira Hashino, the director of Persona 5, thanked fans in North America and Europe for a warm reception and a message today on the PlayStation blog. An illustration of the Persona 5 protagonist, Anne and Morgana, the character designer, is posted here and accompanies this message. So I'm not going to read the full thing because it's really big, but I am going to read the last part of what he says because he thanks you and says a bunch of other stuff, and here's what he had to say last. Last year, with the milestone of the Persona series 20th anniversary, I handed off the series development to my successors and announced the start of my new RPG project that takes place in a fantasy world. Be it at a game set in a modern day, like Persona and Shin Megami Tensei series, or a game set in a new fantasy world, I aim to create games that provide an invaluable experience of reflecting on oneself through a journey, while role-playing as characters that players can deeply relate to. These efforts are only made possible thanks to the positive reception we receive from fans, not just in Japan, but worldwide, of the Persona series and Atlas RPGs in general. I appreciate all your support for the newest entry in the Persona series, and I hope that everyone will enjoy the new Atlas RPGs to come. So I have to say this: one, thank you to Atlas for making an awesome RPG. I think Persona 5 is one of my favorite RPGs of all time. I do have a couple gripes here and there, but once again, I have gripes with lots of stuff, so it doesn't really matter overall if the game is quality and there's tons of content in the game. Now, let's move on to a couple other things that I wanted to talk about when it comes to Persona 5 in general and when it comes to RPGs in general. Overall, with Atlas games, I've had so much fun with what they've done in the past and kind of like what they're doing and what they're doing going forward. Now, when it comes to Japanese developers, I really want to see more of them hop on board with the Nintendo Switch, and we are seeing that. I think Persona 5 is great, but ultimately it works better as a portable game, in my opinion, than a full-fledged console game. So I would love to see it come to the Nintendo Switch at some point, which I've already discussed multiple times. I think it would work a lot better on the portable screen. Now, moving on to other things, when it comes to RPGs from Japanese developers, we've heard that there are 20 Unreal Engine 4 games in development from Japan alone. So I do feel that the Nintendo Switch is going to get a lot more support. I do feel that Atlus is going to turn around and also support the Nintendo Switch. We have Shin Megami Tensei that's coming in 2018. Plus we have an unnamed No More Heroes type of game, or a game that has Travis Touchdown in there. So there are going to be more Japanese developers from Grasshopper Manufacture to Silicon Studios, Square Enix that are going to be hopping on. So I do hope that Atlus, as far as their RPGs go outside of Shin Megami Tensei, do come to the Nintendo Switch as well, especially this new fantasy RPG, and hopefully we get a port of Persona 5 with all of the DLC. I think that would be awesome, or a good number of the DLC, because there is a lot of DLC in that game. There is a ton of DLC in there, but the game is still worth $60 as far as just the base package, so I feel that it's worth it to buy it. I do feel that Persona 5, great game. Japanese developers are making a lot better games. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of these games on the Nintendo Switch based on just some of the stuff that's been released, some of the news. Koei Tecmo pledging support, saying that they have their multi-platform engine ready to go on the Nintendo Switch, in addition to bringing exclusives to the system. So I can't wait to see the future of Japanese game development for Atlus, but also for the industry when it comes to Japan as a whole. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you ninja for the next video. Peace.